We have a question from 3 people here.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony, Matus, and Alina are asking, where do you get the inspiration from? Are there bits of music you just compose sometimes and hope to develop later, or is it all fresh per project? I feel like, well, if it helps, you know, when we're writing for trailer music, we admittedly don't always write from just random ideas out of the sky. I mean, my clients who are editors, producers, music supervisors, they all work on trailers. They are generally coming to me and saying to me what they need music-wise for the upcoming films for the year. So,
Yeah.
And often more than often, I would say every single time, I make note of what those requests are. And over time, I can see, well, this many people asked me for orchestral hybrid, this many people asked me for action, this many people asked me for adventure, etc., etc. And sometimes I have a lot of that music to pitch them, and other times I don't. So, you know, that's when I can go to our fantastic composers, such as Joe Blankenburg, and say, you know what, I think we should make a record like this, because I'm getting asked for it a lot, and I don't think I have a lot of it. I feel like you did a beautiful job with it. And what's interesting to me is that the creative process took an interesting turn, wouldn't you say, in that Joe wrote... How many tracks did you write last year?
I was just gonna fill in on that because
Go ahead.
I think I came up with 30 initial ideas.
Yeah.
Like one of them were, you know, fleshed out tracks, almost complete tracks, and other ideas were just, you know, like snapshots of an idea would have like just partially orchestrated, and I would just, you know, submit everything to you, and from there we would go. And it was like that overall ratio. I mean, it was 30 pieces altogether, and I think just, you know,
and
11 ended up on the album.
Yeah, only 11. Do you remember what happened? About you know, me kind of saying no.
Of course I remember.
There were a lot of no's, weren't there?
There were a lot of no's.
And I feel bad because it was difficult, again, to try and get... I really wanted to draw out the pure emotion out of you, and you definitely went beyond my expectation, and I'm so happy with this album.
I just wanted to say I really liked the process, because when we started out this album, I just had these initial piano ideas, and I wasn't used to, you know, when you say trailer music, epic music, it's all big music, and it's mostly, you know, it's kind of dark, and it's whatever, it can be sound design or whatever, but this kind of music, I came up with these initial piano sketches, and, you know, when I started the orchestration, I felt like, this can't get any bigger, and I felt like, you know, when I presented it to you, you said, like, this has to go, you know, this has to fit in the trailer for me, and just do,
it does,
you know, the thing, and then make it bigger at the end, and I felt like this is... I really need your input, because it really was, you know, it was an evolution, and it just got bigger and bigger, the pieces, but they still maintained, you know, their initial character, and that's beautiful about it. Yeah,
we got lucky. Well, I think also, obviously, when you're about to compose an album of this magnitude and this genre, the fact that it's a live orchestra with a really big choir and a big orchestra really makes a huge difference. This isn't the kind of album you can get away with doing the synth and MIDI and fake orchestra. You just can't. I mean, you can compose with it, but I mean, for it to sound and to give you those goosebumps that you're looking for when you're listening to a record of this caliber, you have to have the real orchestra.
Oh, absolutely. So, you have to have we had more than 100 players or 100, you know, people contributing to the live recording sessions. You know, the orchestra was big. There was a 60-piece choir. Yeah. And it was really intense, and hopefully that, you know, gets reflected in the music.
It's definitely cool, though, when you were composing those tracks and using the fake orchestra just to present ideas, and I kept telling you, go bigger, go bigger. I knew that once we recorded with a live orchestra, it was going to be even bigger than that. So it was like, there's just no holding back. We're going to go big, and it did. And I was really, you know, they sounded big and epic on their own without the recording to help it. But man, I'm impressed.